Your last paycheck hit on a Friday. Monday morning, the mortgage still posts. The HOA still posts. Nothing comes in. In the next 10 minutes, you'll know exactly how to build the retirement paycheck nobody ever taught you. The four-layer income stack. The math on how big a portfolio it actually takes. And the one withdrawal order that decides whether you run out. And the most expensive mistake in retirement is not how much you saved. It's the order you tap the three buckets. Most people do it backwards and never recover. For 25 years, somebody else built your paycheck. Payroll did the math. Tax was withheld. Health insurance came out automatically. Whatever hit your account every 2 weeks was a finished product. Now you have a balance. Maybe it's 400,000. Maybe it's 1.2 million. Maybe it's more. But a balance isn't a paycheck. A balance is raw material. The mortgage doesn't accept raw material. Here's the part nobody warns you about. The whole retirement industry is built around the saving years. Contribute to your 401k. Max your Roth. Hit your number. The conversation stops at the day you stop working, like the hard part's over. But it isn't. The hard part is the next 30 years. You have to take a pile of money and turn it into a check that shows up on the first of every month, through a market you can't predict and an inflation rate you can't control. And you have to build it yourself by hand, on a kitchen table, with no payroll department to call. So let's actually do it. A retirement paycheck isn't one thing, it's stacked. Call it the income stack. You have 4 possible layers. Social Security is the first layer. The portfolio withdrawal is the second. Cash interest and dividends are the third. Part-time work or a side income is the fourth. Each layer covers part of the monthly nut. They stack until the total equals what you need to live. The average Social Security check in 2026 is about $2,080 a month. For a couple both claiming, that's a base of roughly $50,000 a year before you touch a dollar of your portfolio. That's the bottom of the stack. It's inflation adjusted, it's guaranteed. It's never going to zero. Build everything else on top of that. Now the math. Say your monthly nut, the mortgage and taxes and groceries and healthcare and the gym and the streaming services and the kid in graduate school is $9,500. That's $114,000 a year. Social Security covers $50,000. The gap is $64,000. That gap is what your portfolio has to produce. And here's where the rule everyone has heard comes in. For 30 years, the 4% rule has been the answer. Bill Bengen, the engineer who invented it in 1994, just updated it. His new floor is 4.7%. With a more diversified portfolio, he found you can safely withdraw 4.7% of your starting balance every year, adjusted for inflation for 30 years without running out. So, at 4.7%, $64,000 in portfolio income means you need a portfolio of about $1.36 million. Not your net worth, not your house. The liquid number in retirement accounts and taxable brokerage that actually produces income. Now the second mechanic, and this is the one almost nobody gets right, call it the withdrawal order. You probably have 3 buckets. Taxable brokerage, traditional 401k or IRA, and Roth. Most people tap them in the wrong order. They treat the Roth like free money because it's already taxed, so they spend it first. That's the most expensive mistake in retirement. It isn't the size of the pile that breaks retirees. It's the order they tap it. The right order is taxable first, traditional second, Roth last. Taxable first because it's already been taxed and capital gains rates are lower than ordinary income rates. Traditional second because every dollar you pull is taxed as income. But if you tap it before Social Security starts at 67, you can fill the lower brackets cheaply. Roth last because it grows tax-free, comes out tax-free, and passes to your kids tax-free. It is the single most powerful asset you own. You spend it last. 3 real people, same job market, 3 different starting balances. Watch how the income stack changes the answer. Take Maria, age 55. She has $400,000 saved across her 401k and a small Roth. Her husband works in construction. Their monthly nut is $7,800. They plan to claim Social Security at 67. At 4.7%, $400,000 produces $18,800 a year of portfolio income. That's about $1,570 a month. Add their projected Social Security of roughly $4,200 a month combined at full retirement age, and the stack totals $5,770. The nut is $7,800. They're $2,000 a month short, every month, forever. That gap is real, and it doesn't disappear by being angry at it. They have three honest options. Work 2 more years to grow the balance. Cut the nut by $2,000 a month. Or add a fourth layer to the stack. Part-time work or consulting or a rental room. Anything that earns $24,000 a year. Most retirees in Maria's spot end up doing some version of all three. Now take James, age 60. He's a small business owner. He has $800,000 in retirement accounts and another $200,000 in a taxable brokerage. His monthly nut is $9,000. At 4.7%, his retirement balance produces $37,600 a year. His taxable account adds another $9,400. Add his Social Security of about $3,600 a month at 67, and the stack tops out around $7,500 a month before he claims, and around $11,000 once Social Security kicks in. But James has a problem the math doesn't show. He retires at 60. Social Security doesn't start for 7 years. So for those 7 years, his portfolio is doing all the work, and every dollar he pulls in the first decade compounds for or against him for the next 20. So James does what the math actually rewards. He spends his taxable brokerage first, lets the tax-deferred accounts keep growing, and starts small Roth conversions every year he's in the 12% bracket. He pays tax now at a low rate on money that would otherwise come out at 22 or 24% after Social Security starts. He buys himself room. Finally, take David, age 62. He sold his business and rolled the proceeds. He has $1.5 million across retirement accounts, $300,000 in taxable, and a paid-off house. His monthly nut is $11,000. The income stack writes itself. $1.5 million at 4.7% is $70,500 a year, or about $5,875 a month. Add taxable interest and dividends of about $1,000 a month. Add Social Security of roughly $3,800 at 67. The stack is $10,700 a month before Social Security starts, and over $14,000 after. David has the opposite problem from Maria. He has more income than he needs. So he stops the math and asks a different question. What does he do with the surplus? Roth conversions in his 60s shrink his eventual forced withdrawal bill. Qualified charitable distributions after 70 and a half let him donate from his IRA directly to charity, which counts against his required withdrawal without adding to his taxable income. He sets up a 529 plan for the grandkids. The mechanics of having too much are different from the mechanics of having too little, but both still require a plan. 3 things will hit you in retirement that nobody puts on the pamphlet. The first is the required minimum distribution. At 73, the IRS forces you to start pulling from every traditional 401k and IRA you own, whether you need the money or not. The percentage starts small and grows every year. If you've spent 20 years not touching that account, the forced withdrawal can shove you into a higher tax bracket the same year. More of your Social Security starts getting taxed. They call it the Tax Torpedo. It is the single biggest reason high earners pay more tax in retirement than they did while working. The second is sequence of returns risk. Call it the 5-year cliff. Research from Withdrawal shows that 77% of your final retirement outcome is determined by the returns of just the first 10 years. Negative returns in the first 5 years account for 70% of all retirement plan failures. That isn't a coincidence. If the market drops 30% the year after you retire and you sell shares to pay the mortgage at the bottom, you've locked in losses you'll never recover. The first 5 years are the cliff. The rest of retirement is the highway. The third is what almost no one plans for. Only 14% of private industry workers in 2025 have access to a defined benefit pension. The other 86%, you are the engineer of your own income for the rest of your life. So here's the thing. The reason this part feels hard isn't because you're unprepared. It's because no one ever taught you the construction. You spent your career being handed a finished paycheck. Nobody handed you the blueprint for the next one. It's not your effort. It's the structure of the system. Tonight, do one thing. Open the calculator on your phone. Add up your monthly fixed costs, the mortgage, insurance, food, utilities, the real number. Multiply by 12. Subtract roughly $50,000 for projected Social Security if you're married, $25,000 if you're single. Divide what's left by 0.047. That number is what your portfolio actually has to be. Not what some article said. Not what the calculator on the brokerage site told you. The real number in your numbers for your life. Write it down. You just built the first line of your blueprint. If you found this useful, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more simple explanations.